Yeah, it's really an inspiration. I mean, with how the COVID is handled here and like all our situation in the Philippines, to see them reach those new levels, bring glory to our country. I mean, it's really big for them. It's inspiring for me, and I don't know. I'm just watching, and I just feel really happy for them. I don't really even know them
Yeah, me
personally.
also.
I,
Some of
I
them.
feel really happy for them.
Mm. Were you able to watch any of them live? And like Heidelin, when I watched, I really got shocked and I was so happy. Well, I had a meeting, I think, at that time, but I was watching it on like the other screen. And were you able to watch any of the fights or any of the matches live? And yeah, what was your reaction with the results?
I wasn't able to watch anything live. I just saw like videos because we were in Jordan and the Wi-Fi wasn't really too good over there.
Okay.
We couldn't. It was really tough over there. So I
Yeah,
just saw
it's
videos and highlights of what they're doing, and I saw Ymir's knockout punch. That one, whew,
oh yeah, that was
that
really
was
great.
really nice.
Yeah. It's like 30 seconds into the fight, I think they knew that he was gonna beat up the guy. But then after 2 minutes, he was down and he was still complaining that he got hit on the back of the head or something. And then I don't know. And also the Nesty fight, I think she could have won the finals against the Japanese fighter. I'm not really sure how she won, but it's another story. But
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, the silver's still great for us. It's a great showing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, medal.
How about the what do you think of the other sports also? Like yeah, basketball, they get a lot of support, volleyball, and like maybe even football like the Askels have. But then now, like yeah, you mentioned that both of us were not really familiar with some of these athletes and the exposure that they get. They're only getting it now that it's the Olympics and they're performing at the highest level. But what are your opinion also on other sports getting equal like attention or support, because some of them they feel that it's still lacking.
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, with them performing so well, hopefully they'll get more attention in their everyday lives, like how basketball and volleyball are in the Philippines. But it's not really something you can handle. That's just sort of what the fans like, whatever the fans' heart wants, they want, and it's sort of out of your control, really. You just got to keep doing what you love, and for them, they love their sport, their job, and it shows.
Yeah, the boxing, Manny Pacquiao has been a very inspirational for them, I believe, and they could really look up to him. That's why they're successful at a young age and now at the Olympics. So that's why I think that's also one reason. Like Heidelin Diaz has been doing well, and then there's a younger weightlifter, Eileen Ando. I think she also did well. She was like seventh place in her first Olympics. So I guess this Olympics was a great like stepping stone for future athletes, like maybe in basketball for you guys in the future, even if you qualify for the Olympics of this generation. Hopefully, you guys could also do well at that stage, because
Yeah.
if I don't know if you've been watching the Olympics, like the basketball games, it's been really exciting also.
Yeah, I've been watching just lately when we got back here, the
Yeah.
last two games. The USA, Australia, and Slovenia, France. I watched both of those.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the international game? Because for instance, the NBA, NBA players, they had a hard time from Team USA to adjust. They lost the warm-up matches in the Las Vegas, and then here in Japan, they lost to what do you call this? France by 7. But then they were able to adjust already, and still they haven't lost ever since, except maybe in the gold medal match. I'm not really cheering for them. I want France to win, honestly. But what are your thoughts on the game? Because yeah, they've changed their game plan and their playing style, and you could see from Slovenia like these players aren't NBA players, and from France also, but they play really well compared, even if they're compared to NBA players.
Yeah, for the USA team, for me, I think it's just they're used to thinking they're the best in the world, and when you're playing against someone that is defending the country on their chest, they play a little differently. They play with a little more heart than someone that's just coming in thinking it should be easy for them. So I think that's kind of what happened in their warm up games, thinking the USA teams in the past just breezed by everybody. So the level of competition sort of evening out around the world, and I think that's just sort of what happened to them. But once their chemistry started going together, it's still really hard for anybody to beat the American team.
Yeah, personally, what do you enjoy more? Do you enjoy like the European style of play, like how Luka plays, Jokic, and all those players, or do you enjoy the American style of play, like how like KD play and Booker and all those players?
Um, when I'm watching as a fan, you really like to see
Yeah.
like the Americans and their nice highlight plays and everything. But
Mm-hmm.
I think personally, when I'm playing, I would prefer to play in a more of a European style of team where it's more team based and not so much isolation stuff. So that's sort of my feelings towards that.
Yeah, I really like the USA team if they're able to play together. Like in the last two games against Spain and Australia, you could see the cutting. There are a lot of cutting and off the ball movement, but that weren't present. Against France, they were all standing around and waiting for Lillard or Booker or KD to make their own play. But then now there's more off the ball movement, and I enjoy that more. Like for instance, Slovenia. Like I don't know all their players except maybe Luka and Zoran Dragic. But then if you watch them play, they play so well together. I mean, everything starts with Luka, but then their systems put in place and they've been working on it for how many years. And when I watch it, I really have that vision that hopefully, since Coach Tab's trying to implement the European also style of play for you guys, that you guys will be that fun to watch also, and high level of play in the next 2 years in the World Cup, maybe, hopefully, because we're hosting it also.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Hopefully everything keeps progressing right and we could put on a good showing when the World Cup comes.